Bosnia and Herzegovina suffered the most from the wars that ravaged the Western Balkans in the 90s, with approximately half of the country's population forced to flee their homes. Ethnic cleansing, destruction of houses, villages, and communities were all fundamental features of the war. In its Annex 7, the Dayton Peace Agreement mandated UNHCR to assist the Bosnian authorities in ensuring the right of return of displaced persons and refugees. Given the nature of the war, it would only be the history which will judge the success and failure of the implementation of Annex 7. But if we can take any lesson from the work that we've done so far here, is one that while it is easy to destroy, it is very hard to rebuild. While the war ended in 1995, the human impact of the fighting is lasting much longer. UNHCR is often asked a question, to what extent has Annex 7 been implemented? In response to this, I would like to say that a lot has been done by the national and international actors over the last 14 years to reverse the effects of the war. Not a single day goes by without something being done to assist those in Bosnia who remain in displacement, and the people and the countries who provide this assistance should be proud of their worthy endeavors. And when I say people and countries, I mean all those international organizations, all those national organizations, all the donors, and all this international community which has provided the support to this process. The process has contributed to ensuring the freedom of movement of people. Return, by and large, have also taken place in a secure and peaceful fashion, and to date, over 1 million people have exercised their right to return, including some 470,000 minority returns. At the same time, not all of the people who exercise their right to return have remained in their place of origin. This is due to a lack of economic sustainability support and economic opportunities, continued discriminatory practices, and more recently, a negative political atmosphere. The difficulties in reversing the logic of the war have been huge and have contributed in prolonging the situation of displacement, and this is the reason for us to be here today. We in UNHCR regularly undertake field visits throughout the country to implement our projects and programs. In this regard, let me assure you that while the geographic distance between where these people currently live and this conference room is small, the distance in conditions is enormous and frankly disappointing. As I speak, there are many people, Bosniaks, Serbs, Croats, and others, spending their evening often just like any other evening for more than a decade without running water, without heating, without electricity, and in certain cases in metal containers with no windows, in wooden huts, and in completely destroyed houses. These are deplorable standards that no one in the 21st century should have to live in, let alone in a country in the heart of Europe with aspirations to join the European Union. Ladies and gentlemen, I am fully aware that there is a degree of fatigue when it comes to addressing the issue of displacement in Bosnia. However, UNHCR will not allow this issue to slide from view or become the permanent victim of political disagreements. Leaders must take their responsibility to resolve this issue. The big question is, what is the way forward? And the answer to that question is that moving forward can only happen by looking forward and building on the successes achieved to date. And we have an opportunity at hand. The framework for achieving the goals of Annex 7 of the Dayton Peace Process Agreement exists in the form of the revised Annex 7 strategy. However, as you know, with regret, I have to say that the revised strategy was unfortunately blocked in the House of Peoples in June. I want to take this opportunity this evening and in your presence to once again appeal to the leadership to come to a compromise and adopt this strategy and implement it as swiftly as possible. Just a matter of weeks ago, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, Antonio Guterres, visited Bosnia. His message was a simple one. Closing the chapter of displacement in Bosnia and Herzegovina is achievable and within reach. When we talk about the figures, we are talking about 117,000 people compared to over 2 million people a decade ago. But it will require political compromise and a steadfast determination from the authorities at all levels in the country. Unfortunately, I have to admit that the current difficult political climate is not conducive to finding the urgently needed solutions for those who remain displaced. While political considerations are important and understandable, humanitarian concerns should take precedent. The vulnerable displaced people living in appalling conditions I have described simply do not have the time to wait around for possible future political agreements. They require assistance now, and they need solutions now. This assistance can be provided. The revised Annex 7 strategy is still on the table. Together, we have come a long way over the last 14 years. Let us not falter now. By bringing to an end the situation of protracted displacement, not only in Bosnia and Herzegovina, but throughout this region, we will contribute to ensuring a peaceful, stable, and prosperous future for all citizens. I thank you very much again for being with us this evening. Thank you.